Hi guys, today I want to talk about laminate, hybrid and engineered floors, the pros and cons of each product and which one will be best fit for your family home or your business. We'll start off with hybrid. What is hybrid? Hybrid is pretty much a vinyl floor, but the main difference is it's an SPC core, so it's a stone plastic composite. The stone plastic composite gives you 100% waterproof product. You can buy a hybrid that is WPC, that uses pretty much sawdust plastic together. So WPC composite, wood plastic composite. It's not 100% waterproof. That's why we stick with the SPC. How the SPC is made, it's an image of a European oak or Australian species of timber printed on this rigid core. And the wear layer, which is the most important part. With our products, it's a polyurethane coating. You can get also a ceramic coating. Now we'll move into laminates. Laminate, it's pretty much similar in regarding the imaging. The main difference is the core. This is a HDF core, a high density fiberboard. What we do different is we use a resin to seal the board, the core, to give you, unfortunately not waterproof, but it is water resistant. Up to 24, 48 hours. Some companies will do up to 72 hours. But the wear layer is much different compared to a hybrid. With the wear layer, we use aluminium oxide to seal it, which gives you more scratch resistance. And you will find when installing this product with your drop saw, if you use a standard timber blade, it will go blunt much quicker. So which product is better? Well, neither. It comes down to what you need the product to do. For example, if you have a hair salon or a childcare business or an active family home where you have a lot of pets, a lot of spills, you want to frequently clean the floor, because this is 100% waterproof, this will be best fit for your home. With laminate, it's also a good product, but it can't tolerate being mopped every day, constant spills, etc. But having that aluminium oxide wear layer, it's more durable to scratches and foot traffic. So we will do tests later demonstrating this. Now we move into engineered timber. So our engineered timber is made out of multi-layer plywood with a European oak, an Australian species, some form of solid timber placed on top. Now, you can't really compare an engineered timber floor or a timber floor to these two products. These are more designed to be cost-effective, extremely durable. Engineered floor is beautiful, timeless, and the good thing about engineered floor, it can be resurfaced and reused if it's stuck down to your subfloor concrete or a timber subfloor. In my house, I chose to go with engineered timber. I have 3 sons under 5 and they run amok. I understood this when I was purchasing my floor for my house, but knowing that I can resurface the floor, I can cut out boards and replace them, or I can make features in the board, so like knots. My floor has knots, and if I have a dent, I can make it look like a knot. So I can repair it much easier compared to a laminate or a hybrid. So another thing to factor in is price. With a laminate and a hybrid, they are a more cheaper product compared to an engineered. The installation is slightly cheaper. Every product demands different things. So with a floating floor, a laminate or a hybrid, the subfloor has to be almost spot on. Otherwise you will have probably what you've heard from your friends, my floors are creaking, they're bouncing, etc. So if the subfloor is not done right, you will have issues over time. With engineered timber, you can glue it down to your subfloor and that will prevent any movement because it's stuck down, it's going nowhere, especially if the right glue and the right amount of glue is used. So the installation and the cost of an engineered floor is slightly higher. Again, it comes down to what you want out of your floor. Touching back again, engineered floor is timeless, it's beautiful, it has a more premium look because it's timber. It's about finding the right floor for your home or your business. So today we're going to do some testing to demonstrate the water resistance, scratch, dents, and potential ways that can be repaired. So we'll start with scratch test. How are we going to do this? Bit of 80 grit sandpaper and a Stanley knife. So not putting much force, and you can see, so there's faint scratches and you can kind of feel it underneath your finger. You can try to apply a bit of wax or an almond stick to kind of mask these scratches. Now we will do bit of sandpaper. So I'll clean up the dust. Again, you can see it, scratches, and they're white. If you give it a bit more white, yeah. So that's because it's a polyurethane or a ceramic coat finishing. It will scratch. Again, this is more waterproof or 100% waterproof, but when it comes to scratches, it's not as good as a laminate, which I'll demonstrate next. So our laminate, same test, start with the knives. So even dragging the knife, I can feel the blade will slide across the laminate due to the aluminium oxide, while with the hybrid, because it's a bit softer on the top, the knife kind of embeds a little bit easier. So very small scratches. I can do a few more, probably press a little bit harder. That was really hard, and you can see it's left a decent scratch, but I had to push a lot. Now we'll move on to sandpaper, kind of demonstrating sand, grit, rubbish that comes on your shoes. I've gone pretty crazy and nothing. So I've scratched it with the knife, with a Stanley knife. I've pressed really hard. Yes, it's left a decent gouge, but with the sandpaper, it's not done much damage. I can't even see it. It's probably not really visible in the camera, but by eye, I cannot see any imperfections in the floor. Back again to the aluminium oxide, it just gives you that durability. So that's why I think a laminate floor is best suited for family homes. Most family homes, it offers you water resistance up to 24 hours. We've done another test where we've spilt a puddle of water on top of the laminate, and we're gonna leave that, today's Friday, we'll leave it until Sunday to see what's gonna happen. And the most important thing is we've locked a few boards together and we've spilt the water inside the groove. The veneer is waterproof, but where the water will seep in and compromise the board is inside the locking system. So having that resin, we're gonna see after 3 days if any swelling has happened to the board. Now with engineered floor, I've gone with our entry level. So it's a multi-layer ply with a 2mm veneer. A lot of people get scared. It's 2mm, this and that. Look, with the 2mm, 3mm and 4mm or 6mm, in regarding the durability, it's pretty much the same. It's more about resandability. A thinner floor, you can't resand. You can rebuff and recoat, but you just can't change the color. But anyway, we'll talk about that in another video. Let's do the durability test. Keep in mind, this isn't a commercial grade product, so it will have scratches and dents a little bit easier. So we'll just go. There are some hairline scratches. These can definitely be fixed with a bit of a wax stick or an almond stick or a little bit of a clear coat. That's with a Stanley knife. Bit of sandpaper. Now, timber, sandpaper, they don't really go together, only if you want to resand the floor. So very similar to the hybrid, you get that white scratching. Again, bit of stain. This can be repaired. You can probably do it yourself or get a professional floor repairer in. But even if you do get this, being stuck down, an individual plank can be recut, or you can recoat the floor or buff it and just put another clear coat. It just depends how you want to tackle the issue. So we're gonna do a drop test to demonstrate dents. If you drop your keys or your mobile phone, it's not gonna do much to the floor, basically probably nothing. We're gonna go a little bit excessive. We're using a 3-pound mullet hammer, and we're gonna drop it, try to drop it at different angles to show how the floor will dent. With the 3-pound hammer, we did 2 drops on it. We dropped the hammer on flat, and then I try to angle the hammer to drop it on its point. We start with the hybrid. The hybrid did really well in regarding the dents. On both impacts, it's very minute to almost nothing. Reason is because it's got a stone core. Stone is very hard. It's not gonna dent as easy. Laminate has a few dents on both tests because it's got basically a timber core, a HDMF core. Engineered, so this is a 2mm. But again, 2 mil, 3 mil, 6 mil, it doesn't really matter. They're all gonna dent the same. So it has a little dent and a big dent. The big dent is from dropping that hammer on an angle. The good thing about this 2 mil has knots. So I can pick this out with my Dremel and make it look like a knot. So it is repairable. Now, let's check out how I've done this water test with the laminate. So we've got our laminate sample here in our kitchen. I've spilled a glass of water. As you can see, I've tried to focus it more in between the grains where the boards interlock, so the water can try to seep in between. So today's time, on Sunday, we'll touch base and see what's happened. And then after that, I'm gonna leave this outside for a week and see what happens under extreme weather.